Hi, I'm Andrea Raleigh, and you're listening to Notes from That Writer Mom. Today I'm reading you a piece called From the Fringes on Die My Love and Toddler Bedtimes. Heads up, this episode includes a few spoilers for Lynn Ramsay's latest film, Die My Love, and I'm also going to discuss the depiction of postpartum mood and anxiety disorders, or PMAD, in the context of story. PMAD is very real. About 23% of new moms experience PMAD in Canada, according to Stats Canada. If you or someone you love is struggling in postpartum, you're not alone. Please reach out to a trusted healthcare provider. Sometimes we need help, so please ask for help. You deserve care and love too. It's mid-November. Every night since October 13th, when I took my 2-year-old to Spirit Halloween to show them the extensive yet gory Halloween animatronics display, I've had to lay in bed with them until they fall asleep. It took a while to get a routine down, and still it changes. Mood, quality of health, temperature, and what the baby is doing all impact what happens, but it's generally there. I turn off the light, squish into my toddler's bed, and I sing. This part of parenting captures me, the shift in routine caused by a shift in need. Something happens in the world and we have to adjust. We all do it, though before I became a parent, it was often a subconscious change. Now it's tangible and I see it, I experience it, because the event that causes the shift happens outside my body, to someone else, to my child. A great deal of parenting involves responding for and reacting to and translating the world for your child. So any shifts in their world are shifts in yours too. All of a sudden, bedtime has co-opted my evenings. With 2 children, we're in bedtime from 6 to 9 each night, sometimes longer, sometimes, not often, shorter. Most nights, I leave my toddler's room exhausted and half asleep, too tired to read or write, which is what I like to do before bed. Most nights, now that a month has passed, I'm okay with reading for 5 minutes instead of an hour. The routine has chipped away at any hope I had of my toddler magically not needing me to lay with them without any major intervention, like sleep training. I find myself cuddling in, basking in the warmth and patter of their little heartbeat. But some nights, when I'm touched out, overstimulated, and in desperate need of feeding my creative self, I grumble through the entire escapade. Yeah, it becomes an escapade. Once we lay down, per my toddler, I sing most of Olaf's In the Summer. It's very funny. Then all of Do You Want to Build a Snowman before I make up most of the lyrics to For the First Time in Forever. These are all songs from an animated children's film called Frozen. You probably know it. My toddler's trying to learn all the songs, and I am ruining some of them. But I've got their favorite one down, Let It Go, which I'd say I'm pretty good at. I switch gears and sing Part of Your World, which is my favorite Disney song. Then I go on to sing Moana's How Far I'll Go, and then some of Magic Carpet Ride. I never remember the name of the song, and no, it's not by Fatboy Slim. It's called A Whole New World, and I'd like to refer here to the original version, as I'm still trying to forgive Will Smith for storming the stage at the 2022 Oscars, where he punched Chris Rock in the face. My toddler's breathing is usually pretty heavy by this point, but I have been fooled before, so I go on to sing 2 Sound of Music bangers, Do Re Mi and My Favorite Things. Both of these songs I learned the lyrics to when my toddler was first born. And I get nostalgic here, real sentimental, especially if postpartum hormones are alive and well. I share all of this with you because it could end at any moment. This is a means of preservation, I suppose. This is a fragile part of parenthood. One night you sing your baby to sleep, something happens in the world, and you may never sing to them again. At least not in the same way. Then it's the grand finale, hopefully. I sing Love by Nat King Cole, another song from when I first became a mom and one I also sing to our second child. I typically think of that cruise ship wedding that comprises the opening scene of the 1998 movie The Parent Trap. This is where I first heard the song. It was the smiles on Natasha Richardson and Dennis Quaid's faces. They play the parents in the film. Their smiles seem so genuine. My kid self thought they were actually in love. But on this particular night, as I sing this song, I think of a movie called Die My Love. Die My Love is Lynn Ramsay's newest film, which received a 9-minute ovation at Cannes this year. This is an encouraging fact for anyone writing about motherhood. The plot follows a couple played by Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson who move into a rural home and have their first baby. The film is an uncensored cinematic interpretation of the edges of early motherhood. It's based on the English translation of a 2012 Argentinian novel, Die My Love, by Ariana Harwitz, which I've read is classified as motherhood horror. It's a film about marriage and writing. Yeah, Lawrence's character is a writer. It's a film about disconnecting from the self and the world. What's significant is it's not reductive in this endeavor. It also explores loneliness and isolation, among other parts of life. This is a comedy, I thought as I watched it. This is hilarious. Yeah, that's sarcasm. It's a comedy in the same way it is so funny, read not funny at all, the way women are and have been treated. You know, being burned at the stake from the 15th to 18th centuries, being committed to an asylum for smiling in the 19th and 20th centuries, being silenced, shamed, and turned against one another by mainstream media, and being left to navigate motherhood in a society that isolates and suppresses parents through lack of public infrastructure, unrealistic expectations, and harmful rhetoric, all perpetrated by a social system, patriarchy, that is reared primarily by individuals who have not given birth. There are funny parts in the film, and there's a wedding. Maybe it is a comedy. As I said, it's not reductive. As someone simultaneously 5 months and 2 years postpartum, I am raising two little humans. I was slow to process the validation I felt while watching Die My Love unfold. Books and films are excellent for exploring unarticulated spaces within us. Stories can take us safely to an extreme. They let us poke around a bit, and then we can walk away when they end. This is one reason narratives are a popular form of escapism. They're safe. A novel, a film, a television series, they can bring forth our feelings and fears and allow us to explore them, play even, all from the comfort of our couch or movie theater. We're in control the entire time. While Die My Love is categorized in a number of ways, horror, black comedy, drama, psychological thriller, quote, a surrealistic dark fairy tale, end quote, according to Ramsay, and, I roll, a postpartum drama. I've been considering the horror aspect, and I wonder if part of the horror is thinking something might happen to the baby. Fear not. As I suspected, nothing happens to the baby. I understood well the way Lawrence's character was able to protect and care for her child while she unraveled and became something or someone unrecognizable. The confidence I had in Lawrence's character was inexplicable. Giving birth and entering motherhood is one of those occurrences that instantly employs 100% of our capacity. It's no wonder we're not able to talk about it, or we forget to, or it's so extreme a shift we struggle to articulate or recognize it. If there is ever to be a tipping point in society where the social systems shift in support of mothers and parents, it'll only be after all of this is acknowledged and tended to, and believed, not unlike the way we drop our own routines to lie in bed with our babies when it's required of us. I appreciated that Ramsay and the two other writers, Enda Walsh and Alice Birch, did not reduce Lawrence's character to maternal tropes. That's the horror of the film, I think. The complexity of Lawrence's character. How she becomes this feral creature trapped in a house. How unclear her reality becomes. How she loses all these different aspects of herself while remaining wholly capable of attaching and caring for her child. So when a white male film critic enumerates in The New Yorker all the elements he believes the film leaves unstated, his distance from and inability to fully comprehend the experience the film conveys becomes strikingly apparent. Maybe I'm feeling defensive because I'm a writer who also recently gave birth. But maybe I am very tired of watching our realities become parsed, judged, or dismissed by people who have never had to inhabit them. Nevertheless, now that I've had a few days to digest the film, I do find myself saddened by this plot point. Spoiler, Lawrence's character is institutionalized by her spouse. Is this not a blunt, long-standing depiction of the consistency of care when it comes to women and mothers? The tagline of patriarchy, lock away what you do not understand. Give me a story where we get through this, unhinged and feral and yet capable, transformed, and supported. Give me more of Sissy Spacek's character in the film. A mother-in-law who raised her glass to Lawrence's character, who proclaimed, let her go. We all go a little loopy in the first year. Most nights, as I lay with my toddler, as I hold them close and finish Nat King Cole's love song, my toddler is fast asleep. I sing into their subconscious. I cannot say when this routine will shift, when my toddler won't want me to hold them or sing to them each night. When I finish the song, I let the silence balloon, and at least once a week, they turn to me in the darkness and request another tune. Of course, I continue to sing. I think every mother struggles. How could we not? We have to remember the goal is not to make it through this phase in the cleanest, most direct way, but instead in the most supported, least harmful, hopeful way. On our own, we have the ability to choose a tender, optimistic path, but the support, sure, it's internal, self-reliance, self-resilience, self-coaching, but it's also external, family, community. And if a community of mothers and parents feels mythical, it is the desired effect of our current society. We are not magical entities that appear out of nowhere. Mothers, parents, and caregivers are formed through active participation and shared investment. Something happened to us, and now we're just out here trying to adjust. If it's not clear yet, this is me adjusting. Thanks for listening to Notes from That Writer Mom. As I mentioned at the start of this episode, postpartum mood and anxiety disorders, or PMAD, are very real. While I discuss them in this episode in the context of storytelling, it's important to know that PMAD can affect birthing people and parents for years. If you or someone you love is struggling, you're not alone. Please reach out to a trusted healthcare provider. It's 100% okay to ask for help. If this story about bedtime routines and the wildness of mothering resonated with you, please share it with a friend. I'm Andrea Rully, and I'm here with Babe in Arms. Thanks for being here and for holding space for tenderness and ferocity at the same time. You want to say bye?